It's Bread versus Yoga. I'm with Freehand Profit. We about to do catch and shoot. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, I am.
Rapid fire questions. You ain't got to think too hard about them. Let's go. Favorite NBA player of all time, not named Jordan.
Personal favorite will go Alonzo Mourning.
I've never gotten that answer before. Snapbacks or dad hats?
Let's go fitted.
Okay. Favorite anywhere, anytime shoes?
Air Max 90s.
Favorite hip hop album in college?
In college? Philly Freeway.
Nice. Best sneaker to go on a date in?
Filling Pieces, Low Legacy, Arch Runners.
Say that again?
Filling Pieces, Low Legacy, Arch Runners. They're it's a European joint, and they're like the perfect blend between luxury and like classic running shoe.
Oh, so you owe your luxury tip too.
Exactly.
I ain't mad at you. Okay. Thing you can't go one single day without doing?
Smoking weed.
There we have it. Mexican food or Chinese food?
I gotta say Mexican food because I've had more authentic Mexican food than authentic Chinese food.
Great answer. Artist nobody would suspect you listen to?
I think I got it.
I couldn't hear it. It cut out a little bit. What'd you say?
Ed Sheeran.
Most underrated rapper of all time?
E40.
I love it. NBA player you think will make a good dominoes partner?
You know what? I think I would want to play with Kevin Durant.
Hey, cash or debit card?
Ooh. I got to go debit.
Favorite spot to eat in your hometown?
Favorite spot to eat in my hometown? Lowe's Chinese restaurant in Vienna, Virginia.
Shout out to Vienna, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Which LeBron was your favorite LeBron? Rookie LeBron, Miami Heat LeBron, or old man LeBron still killing these young boys?
Oh, man. I think I got to go with Miami LeBron because I'm like the only guy who likes LeBron 11s.
I like the LeBron 11s, but do you think Andre 3000 will ever drop another album in life?
Only if we're really, really lucky.
That is a great answer. Well, I think you've answered this already, but good weed or good liquor?
Weed all day.
Favorite strain?
Favorite strain. I think I gotta go with Cherry AK.
Worst movie you've ever seen in your life?
I've seen some bad ones. Damn, I'm trying to think because there's ones I haven't even made it through. How about the worst movie I enjoy? I'll go DC Cab.
Okay, never heard of it, but I'm at the IMDb that shit.
Mr. T and Gary Busey.
Oh, that sounds fucking horrible. I'm not even gonna lie to
you. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta enjoy the bad taste.
All right, now we get into the fire round. Biggie or Tupac?
I gotta go Pac.
Always a great answer. NBA player all time to most likely have killed somebody.
Man, I don't want to throw no shade my boy's way, but I gotta say Iverson.
Just shout out to the answer. If you had to have lunch with Donald Trump or Caitlyn Jenner, which one are you picking?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Ironically, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's a trick question.
Yeah.
If you've ever played basketball, what's the funniest moment you've ever had on the court?
Oh, I play horribly, so pretty much anytime I'm on court, it's pretty funny.
I love it. Okay. Woman, famous or not, who could fart in your face and not lose one sexy point off her 2K rating?
Let's go. Oh, Rihanna.
Shout out to Rihanna farts. Final question. Have you already heard the new Drake album?
No, I have not.
All right, that has been Catch and Shoot with today's house guest, Freehand Prophet, joining us from, where are you at?
I'm out in Los Angeles, California.
Sunny Los Angeles. How you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm loving it and living it.
Yeah, I really appreciate you joining me on the Hoopcast, man. This is the Heezy Hoopcast, powered by AnimalHeezy.com. Please visit AnimalHeezy.com at your earliest convenience and invite yourself to betterness. And I do want to take a moment for a second to give a memorial shout out. Rest in peace to my big homie Kahuna. Rest in peace to my guy Reiju Goku. Kamehameha on you bitches. And let me go ahead and put my phone on silent so these whores do not disturb. So, did you get a chance to see the NBA Finals?
Yeah, I watched. I think I missed the last game, unfortunately, but I caught the first three.
I'm not gonna front with you, my guy. I missed the last 4 games.
Really?
Yeah,
hey.
I was 100% not excited about this NBA Finals, man.
You know, it's tough, and I hear a lot of people talking about NBA's as fake as wrestling nowadays. It's all like plotted out, but it's hard to say. I kind of wish we would have seen something more out of LeBron and the Cavs, but LeBron can only do so much, and man, Warriors are on fire, man. They gonna be a dynasty to kind of reckon with.
Yeah, and as I always say, as this free agency looms upon us, and everybody is scrambling to stockpile arms to try to compete with Golden State, you're not gonna beat these guys with talent. You have to beat these guys with the organization. You have to beat these guys from the top down. Your owners have to be top notch. Your coaching has to be top notch. And definitely your players have to be top notch. You can't just put a bunch of players together and win it all. But before we hopped on here, we was talking, and you said that wait. Like, let me do a quick detour. Let me go ahead and explain to people what's going on. I'm excited to have you on or whatever because I have been following your work for probably years, my guy. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah, on Instagram and on Twitter. I mean, I randomly ran across you on Twitter. Have no idea how I found you, but I saw you making these gas masks out of expensive sneakers.
Yes, sir.
Sneakers that people stand in line for, and here you go. You cut them up and make this fire ass gas mask out of it. So I really think I do this podcast as an intersection of hip hop culture and hoops culture, and I definitely have took note of your contributions to ultimately both cultures over the years, and I'm excited that you allowed me the opportunity to talk with you. So thank you.
No problem, man. It's fun to be able to talk to folks, and that's what it's all about, is making that connection. Like, if you're making art or doing a podcast or doing whatever you do and you're not taking the time to make the connections with the people that you're able to reach, that's, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
And I reach out to all sorts of types of people. Like, the thing about this is that I've had famous rappers on here, and I've had, normal fans who just do their thing on a day-to-day basis and just, do the normal person thing. So
right.
The fact that I can have the conversation about the culture with so many people, and people like yourself are gracious enough, and the regular people who just like, or why do you want to talk to me on the podcast?
Right.
The fact that y'all allow me to have this conversation is what's so dope. So, I mean, I can have the idea, but I still need guys like you to do what you do, then allow me to talk to you and shit for it to all work. So,
It's symbiotic, my guy. It's like, we can't have one without the other, and it's great to hear that you have people from all walks of life and all stages into the show, because that gives you a more diverse output, a different view than you would have if you was just talking to the same industry insiders all day long.
Yeah, because I definitely can't fuck with the industry shit. I mean, my vibe is just too, I'm too grounded. I don't want to do the whole I'm too real thing, but I definitely don't do well in situations.
Corporate.
Yeah. The situations that require corporate sensibilities. I don't have corporate sensibilities and everything. I just like what is and what ain't, and I don't like the in betweens. I don't like the deception, the lies, the smoke screens,
the games. Yeah, exactly.
So, now that we got the formalities out the way and everything, I'm curious though, man. Your name is Freehand Prophet, and I was wondering, how did you get the name Freehand Prophet? If that's not too basic of a question to ask you.
No, not at all. It actually comes from my days in middle school and high school. Being a hip hop fan and an artist, the kind of obvious connection there was graffiti. So I spent some years as a graffiti artist, and that was the name that I would write. I would either write Free or Pro, Profit. Sometimes I'd go and write the whole thing. But what it boils down to is my whole life, people would tell me, "Oh, you're an artist? Well, good luck. You're never going to make a living at that." I'm like, "No, that's exactly what I'm going to do." So that's where the profit comes in. The freehand comes in kind of as a little joke, because I'd be sitting there drawing in school, and people would come up to me and be like, "Yo, did you draw that freehand?" Like, meaning, did you trace it? And I was like, "Yeah, I do that. I'm freehand. Like, that's what I do."
Now that you explained it, man, that is one dope ass name, especially with the profit shit, man. I say, stun on these haters and non-believers.
Exactly. You gotta, and I think that's just kind of the person that I am, is that I'm really motivated by folks that tell me that I can't do something. Like, I know I can do it. So depending on who that person is, I might have to prove them wrong.
You know what I'm saying? You probably should change your name to Freehand Prove It.
Yeah, exactly. I like it.
But you've been doing your thing since 2010?
That's correct. Yep, going on 8 years now.
Which is motherfucking beautiful.
Thank you.
How did you get the idea to start making gas masks out of shoes? Because, I mean, other than sitting around smoking one day and just being like, I think I can make a gas mask out of this shit.
I was doing a year-long daily project called Math 365, and every day for that year I would make or design a mask out of different materials or a different kind of like spin on it. But it's like 6 months go by, and I'm really looking for materials that mean something to me. And it came about in a little roundabout way. A friend's mom was throwing out an old handbag because it was falling apart on the inside, and I was like, well, if you're gonna throw that out, I'm gonna cut it up and I'm gonna make a mask out of it. And I did. I love the process of making the mask. I love the end result, but I don't love handbags. So I had to sit there and I was like, what has dope colorways, quality leathers, cool branding, but means something to me?
Oh, I know.
Exactly. I looked down and the answer was on my feet. So it started small. I mean, I picked up a $20 pair of SB Blazers from a Nike outlet near Vero Beach, Florida. and kind of never looked back. You know, the one to rock, one to stock became one to rock, one to chop.
Damn. Hey, and you definitely killed my next question, because my next question was going to be, what was the first shoe that you ever did with?
Yeah, that was the Nike SBs. The first Jordan I ever did was the Laker 1 mids. Buddy put those on my chopping block, and it was like my 5th mask. I'd done like some Pumas, some Adidas, and he put the J's on my block, and I was like, man, are you sure? You want me to cut up your Jordans? Are you sure? He's like, yeah, man, do your thing. And that was kind of, it was a little bit of a catalyst, because that was the first mask that the sneaker blogs picked up. And from there, I really knew that I had something.
So at what age did you know that you were going to be heavy in the sneaker culture?
You know, for me, it was hip-hop culture first and foremost. And that was like 4th grade, because nobody around me was listening to it, but I was so drawn to it. And really, you know, I grew up in the suburbs. All these white folks were telling me that I had no place listening to hip-hop. And I found out the opposite from my time in the culture. It's like, if you're in it, like they say, the 5th element is participation. And I think anybody who's in hip hop, who's actively participating, has earned their place. So it was my transition into well, not really a transition, but I mean, you know, if you're listening to hip hop, sneakers are a part of it, whether you're listening to, you know, because my first album was Doggy Style. So like, you know, like there's a reason I ended up in LA, but like, you know, it's the Chucks, it's the Air Force Ones, the Timberlands, the Shell Toes. That was like my middle school and high school. I should say really high school, because my parents weren't buying me shoes until I had my own job. You know, like I got my first job at 14 so I could stunt and style. But yeah, the love for sneakers comes from the love for hip hop, and it kind of expanded exponentially once I started cutting them up.
Yo, just a quick sidebar, just to interject about sneakers and shit. I got my first job when I was 12, and I was working for this rinky-dink ass daycare. God bless them, you know, but I was getting paid $15 a week, but somehow at 12 years old, you know, it just, you know, especially
that was something.
Yeah, when I was, you know, I wasn't selling drugs and shit. You know, I was a normal ass kid. So
yeah,
you know, $15 a week. You know what I'm saying? I got all the cookies on deck at lunch. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I probably bought your bitch some cookies in the 7th grade. But and I remember the first pair of shoes I bought with my money was some fucking And1s, man.
Hey, shout out to Set Free and And1. I actually was able to meet the guy who started And1 and made him a mask out of some KD10s.
Damn, that's ill. Well, I'm so glad I told that story just now.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, this shit is ill. But do you have a staff that you work with, or is it largely you?
It's mostly me. I do all the design work, photography. I do have a very talented wife who's also an artist, and she helps me out when I'm in too deep, and I'm like, yo, this got to get done, but I got to be over here. And other times, you know, I'll have help. You know, from friends will come by, be like, yo, let me lend a hand or something, and I'll be like, yo, sand these down, or you know, help me cut these or something like that. But for the most part, it's a one-man show. But even with that being said, every one-man show has a support group that makes it possible.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, the Hoop Cast is kind of mostly a one-man operation and shit, but I definitely have other hands that made my life a lot easier and shit. But
right.
So how long does it usually take you on average to knock out one of these masks?
That's a tough call. I say 4 to 6 weeks is average. But well, and then there's ones that have taken me more than a year or a year and a half. And then other ones that I've done in a day. So what it really boils down to is what type of project it is. Like, if Adidas hits me up and they're like, yo, we need 7 masks in 7 days, I'm going to make it happen, and they're going to pay me like I made it happen. Other folks are, they're fine art collectors. They don't have any reason that they need it by a certain day. They want me to take my time on it because they know the longer I take, the more consideration I give it, and ultimately the better piece of artwork they're going to get.
Speaking of, I saw on YouTube the story where you did the Air Force One mask for Method Man.
Yeah, that was an awesome animation from Sneaker Inc. And that's a hell of a story right there. That was early on. But yeah, I got to meet Method Man, who is, besides Snoop, I'd say Method Man and Redman and Bone Thugs and Harmony are kind of like the founding fathers of my hip hop passion. So that meant a lot to me. That was really cool, and I don't know that I've ever met anybody of that level that has been so humble as Method Man. He could have told me to go fuck myself, and I would have been like, it's meth.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna begin fucking, sir.
Yeah, exactly. How high? Yeah, they tell you how to jump. How high?
Perfect. Hey, yo, how happy? I don't know how easy these things are for you with the mask and everything, but how relieved were you when you asked him what shoe he would like his mask out of, and he said all white Air Force One? How relieved were you?
I was excited about that because it was something that I wanted to do personally. And so it was like I said, that was a shoe that I wore, and that was almost the only shoe I wore for so many years. I wasn't balling. So all white Air Force Ones, that was key. It'd be easier to pick up a fresh pair. But so, like you're saying, it was, I don't know if relief was the right word, but it was like, oh shit, somebody who forged some of my hip hop tastes is choosing a shoe that also is so representative of me that I felt tied into it even more.
Yeah, I guess I meant more so the fact that it's a fairly easy shoe to find and get your hands on and stuff.
Oh, well, I should say this. The customer supplies the shoe. So that way I don't spend my time hunting something down. I spend my time making the mask. Now with that one, because it was so easy to get, I was like, yo, I got you. Don't worry. But if he had said yo, I want a pair out of the Tokyo Jordan 5s, I would have been like, all right, let me know when you ship them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so what's your take on sneaker culture in 2018?
Oh, man. It's hard to say because as these cultures get bigger, it has sections or groups and certain things, you kind of want to see less of, or you want to see something a little bit more, I want to say culturally relevant from the sneaker blogs themselves. I'd say in 2012, 2013, there was kind of a switch where the blogs became sponsored by the big brands.
Uh-huh.
And what that means is they're not speaking just for themselves. They're also speaking for the brands. So they can't really say what's going on in the culture for real. They can only tell you what these brands want you to see from the culture. So it really has, driven a resale market. It's driven hype, without driving knowledge or passion for the shoes themselves. I was at an event last night and nobody knew that the Nike mags were from Back to the Future 2. They didn't know who Tinker Hatfield was.
Wow.
You got Air Max 1s on your feet and you don't know who Tinker Hatfield is. That's the type of stuff I want to see less of. But at the same time, there's newcomers to the game every day. and we got to let them have a little bit of a learning curve. And every culture has peaks and valleys, and I think we're on an upswing right now. I think people are getting tired of the same old same from sneaker culture, and they want to see something different, something new. And I'm gonna be here through the peaks and valleys, man. I do me regardless. So, it's nice because when that culture swings back that way, that they want to pay more attention to the art and community that surrounds sneakers, I'm gonna be here. And when they're off selling hype and fake gassing the next release, I can keep doing my thing and I don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, that brings me to my next question. Do you, like, in your heart of hearts, believe that there can be an entity that survives based on culture and history rather than branding and hype?
It can be, but I think it's one of those things where the culture has to, I don't want to say die out, but it has to like wane. We kind of got to cull the herd a little bit. I think the best comparison is if you look at comic book culture. In the 90s, there was this huge boom of newcomers that were coming in and buying comic books because they thought they were going to be worth $1 million in 10 years. I think a lot of cats get into the game to become rich off of reselling, and some of them do. Some of them pay their bills. Some of them, make a little extra just so they can buy their own kicks. But longevity is not an easy thing. Most of these cats won't be around in 3 years. And once that herd is thinned out a little bit, then you see who's genuinely into it. Like, if we ever reach a point where sneakers aren't fashionable or they're not, like, it's not cool to be a sneakerhead anymore, then the cats that are still sneakerheads, like, they're gonna rebuild the culture, and they're gonna probably build it with some safeguards to prevent against the culture being taken away from the OGs and the genuine articles. I think we're seeing it in hip hop a little bit, but it could be just a branch and a new wave. It's hard to tell. It's like, I'm kind of not really into mumble rap. There are certain rappers that, like, okay, like I can fuck with it. It's a cool sound. I get what you're hearing, but there was too much knowledge dropped on me through music. Like, I learned so much through hip hop that when there isn't that, you got to drop at least a gem, at least one on the album, if not one on every track. Like, it don't have to be, not everybody's going to be Talib Kweli. Not everyone's going to be Jay-Z. Like, you got to balance that mainstream sound and some consciousness. And I think there's artists out there doing it. But yeah, I think getting back to your question, can the culture survive based on just brands and hype? Probably not. But I think the culture will be kept alive by the people who are in it and have been in it before this kind of ultra branded wave kind of swept in.
Yeah, and I really do think that ultra branded wave is kind of just affecting everything from sneakers to sports to music to politics and shit. So it's just kind of like where we are right now with all of this shit.
Right. I think it's a symptom of social media. This is a new tool that we haven't had for, the millenniums that humans have been around. And we don't necessarily know the effect that it's going to have. I think, people were worried that TV was going to rot our brains. I don't think that necessarily happened, but maybe social media does, and we weren't even thinking about it because we're like, people just worry and they're scared of new technology. Well, sometimes that fear is going to save your life. And maybe we should have been a little bit more cautious with social media. Hard to say. Maybe it just needs to be kind of reined in a little bit.
Yeah, even though that I almost feel like there's no way to like rein these things in as long as corporate dollars are being spent to make certain things popular and shit. You know, it's like it's really hard to rein that kind of shit in. But you know, it is what it is, and you kind of just got to find your way to operate around it or amidst it. You know, so
very true. Well, but on that note, that form of marketing is only going to be viable for so long. Eventually, they're going to saturate that, and it's not going to be an effective way of marketing. Like nobody watches TV commercials anymore because we can skip it on TiVo. You feel me? So like that TV commercials are still a very big part of marketing, but they're not what they were 10, 20 years ago. And I think at a certain point, social media is going to be kind of on that same level where there'll still be advertising and marketing there, but it's not going to be the kind of monster that it is right now.
Man, one can only dream. But
yeah, right.
One of my favorite shoes ever is, I'm from Memphis.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know what that means, and I don't know if that means you can guess, you know, who my favorite player is and all of that. But it would be my favorite shoe is one of my favorite shoes is the Air Penny 5.
Oh, okay. I get that. And I think I had a pair of those. I'm trying to remember the name of the designer. But yeah, that's a dope pair.
And it also has not a map of Tennessee, but a graphic of Tennessee on the inside. So
okay,
yeah, that really when I saw that, I was sold. Like
that was the one. I get that because like I grew up in Virginia, and there's not a lot of love for VA. There's not a lot of that in like mainstream culture. So like when Iverson came out, when the clips dropped, like you know what I mean. I get that. Like you're instantly tied to that.
Yeah. So have you ever came close? Have you ever made any mask out of any Air Penny shoe?
Not yet. Well, I'm working on some foam, so technically yes. And it's funny. I was planning to chop the Penny 5s, but it was at the time that designer went from Nike to Adidas. So it was kind of like I was going to do that because I kind of had to connect with that designer, and then his situation switched up, so I kind of put it on ice. But it's going to happen because I love working with new silhouettes. And so it's just a matter of time before they start dropping those again in some fresh colorways. And yeah, it'll happen.
I can't wait for it to happen, man. Being a big Penny fan and a person from Memphis, I can't wait to see that shit. And I'm going to blast that shit. But speaking of shoes you've done, I saw that you have over 9,400 posts on Instagram, which is insane.
Yeah, it's been, let's see, I guess a little over 8 years. So yeah, for a while, you know, it was like three, 4 posts a day. But yeah, 185 some masks since 2010. So,
ooh, God bless. So I have like a random list of shoes that, you know, I want to ask you if you've done it or you thought about doing it.
Yeah, dope. I like it.
Okay. Air Monarchs.
I have not, and I don't really want to. But sometimes it's like one of those things that you might have to do just for the culture. And, you know, if the right collector hits me up, he's like, yo, I really love these. I'm just dad as hell. And, you know, I think it would be dope to have a dad mask. Like, okay, dope. You know, I'll make that for you. But personally, yeah, not on my flavor spectrum.
I mean, not really on mine, but I definitely think if you did it, like, the world would go crazy. But,
yeah, they would.
Any of the Steph Curry Under Armours?
I think the newest joints What are we on, the fours, fives?
Fours, I believe.
I think that's the first one that I've really wanted to chop. There were a few. Think of the threes. Maybe it was the threes, the championship threes that I was digging. I'm not really a fan of Under Armour though. Maybe it's that logo. As soon as they put that on the side, I'm like, ugh.
I mean, the logo is terrible and everything, but I definitely wanted to just provide a list of, I guess, ironic shoes or some shit.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good question to ask. Still, I just haven't yet. We'll see.
Hey, I mean, shit. If I was in your position, I'd be like, fuck them. But the Nike Zoom Flight 98s, aka the Gary Paytons, aka the gloves.
Oh, that's been on my list for so long. I've picked up pairs. I'm like, I want to make a mask out of this, and it's just, I have a waiting list of customers, and then I have pairs that I've picked up for myself. I'm like, sometimes I just gotta wait. The gloves are gonna be coming back around. It's gonna happen. But yeah, I think they'd make a dope ass mask.
Okay, the LeBron Zoom Soldiers.
Which air? I got a pair of the LeBron Zoom Soldier 6s right here that I think would be crazy mask, but I don't even want to cut them up because I ain't never seen a colorway like this. It's like bamboo and bright crimson. Tough.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. The Leaning Way of Wades.
I have done Way of Wades actually for Lean Ying. We did 3s and 4s, and I got a pair of 5s that a homie sent me to chop up that I haven't gotten around to yet.
Hey, that's ill. The Fila Vulcans.
I haven't done the Vulcans, but I did do the Fila Mindbreakers. That was a Sneaker Inc. collab.
Okay. Air Max 90s.
Oh yeah, many times. That's my favorite shoe right there. I've done the infrareds, the Atmos Tiger Stripe, some polka dot joints. I did an Anubis mask out of some Nike AD 90s. And I'm pretty sure there's something I'm forgetting, but that's a pretty good roundup.
The Air Force 2s.
Not yet, but I think that'd be a good one.
Okay, the Converse Weapons.
Yeah, that's got to happen. It's just a matter of time for those. I think it's another classic. I just got to space them out because it kind of shows people how old I am.
Yeah.
These young bucks want to see their Yeezys and Triple S Balenciagas, and I'm like, man, I still got to do some staples. I still got to do a Timberland mask.
Ooh, that would be nasty.
Yeah.
The Air Jordan 30.
I dig it. I could do that. I actually like the 32s even better, and I'm kind of hoping. So, okay, you know how the 32s kind of look like the 2s, the 31s kind of look like the 1s? I'm a Jordan 3 head. So if the 33s look anything like the 3s, I'm going to be on it.
I dig it. Any of the Iverson Reebok answers?
We did the answer 4 and the question as well.
That's ill. Okay, and the final one, Birkenstocks.
No, never done Birkenstocks. I don't even think I've seen a pair in person.
Hey, I don't know about you, but in the South, man, there was a moment where everybody was on Birkenstocks, male, female, black, white. And I've always been a sneaker guy, and I'm like, those are quite garbage. But
yes, yeah, I feel the same. In Virginia, when I was coming up, there was a while that Doc Martens were everywhere. Like, nah, not my speed.
And do you have any type of art background? I mean, that was one of the questions I had on the list that I didn't get around to or whatever, but I just wanted to ask, do you have any art background or whatever? I mean, you have to be doing this kind of shit.
Yeah, I kind of was an artist my whole life. As a kid, I just used to love drawing and painting. I had an amazing art teacher in high school, and then I went on to college at Corcoran College of Art and Design in DC, which didn't do a lot for me. It really just gave me baggage to carry with me and to get over. And if anything, it made it so that I kept making my art regardless of anybody liked it or not, because I was making hip hop art in a school that didn't understand that visual language, and I had to fight tooth and nail for every grade and through every art critique. So yeah, you know, I have a pretty extensive art background, but for folks that are out there going, man, I wish I could be an artist, but like I don't have that background, you don't really need it. You just need the drive, the ambition, and really the critical thinking. If you can think critically and imaginatively, like that's more important. The rest you'll figure it out as you go.
100% beautiful. And I've seen that you transformed some of the mask into bong gas mask. Have you ever smoked out of any gas mask that you made?
Yeah, actually, when I think I smoked out of most of them. I haven't smoked out of the Skunk Dunk. I got to smoke out of the DB4, which hooks up to a dab rig. It kind of just depends on the collector and if they're like really looking to use the piece, or if they just want to be able to say that you can smoke out of it. Because there's that kind of like, they want to keep it dead stock, if you will. Like,
yeah,
you can smoke out of it, but I'm not about to, type of thing.
Yeah, so hey man, I love what you do. I've loved what you've done culture wise for years, man. And I want you to keep rocking in the free world, man. So with the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds, I want you to blast your social media presence. Like, what's your social media on everything? I mean, I imagine it's Freehand Profit on everything.
That's correct. It's FreehandProfit. That's on Instagram, Twitter. I'm getting YouTube up and running. I'm not really a video guy, but that's on its way. Yeah, freehandprofit.com. It's all there, and you'll be able to find me.
And I want y'all to definitely, if y'all pick one avenue, I mean, definitely follow that shit on YouTube. I just subscribed on YouTube. But on Instagram, you guys need to follow this shit on Instagram and see this shit. This shit is sick. This shit is ill beyond belief. So you guys go follow that shit. And man, I don't know what you have planned in the future, man, but I hope you keep me posted and keep the people posted and everything. And I'm excited to see where it all goes next, man.
Appreciate that, man. Great talking to you this morning, and you know, I definitely will. I got that hip hop mentality, man. Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah, and I hope I can also have you on future episodes and shit too, because when I have somebody dope on and we get the surface shit out the way, I believe the conversations get so much deeper about the culture from there. So I hope I can have you on again when you finally get some time.
Looking forward to it, man. Let's make it a thing.
Hey, I'm into making things, man. It's kind of what I do.
Likewise.
Everybody, Freehand Profit, man. Thank you for joining us on the Hoopcast. And I will talk to you soon, man. Stay blessed.
Definitely.
Do your thing, man. And all that. He's a Hoopcast. Another one in the books. I think this is number 70, 71. Who the fuck knows? I get them off. And God bless everybody. Class is dismissed.
Amen.